So the Justice Department is fining the Denver Sheriff's Department $10,000 for hiring only U.S. citizens. The Sheriff's Department saying in a statement, quote, "While we didn't commit this violation intentionally, we accept responsibility and are taking steps to clarify policy and amend language in hiring documents." To the Center for Immigration Studies, Mark Kakarian, on what he makes of this. Mark, it just seems so weird, almost Twilight Zone type of bizarre, that the Sheriff's Department is supposed to be hiring illegal immigrants?
No, well, legal immigrants.
Legal immigrants, okay.
But the point is not people who aren't citizens yet. And you're right, it's absurd. There's a perfectly good rationale for requiring a person, even an immigrant, obviously, it's not a problem if you're an immigrant, but to be a U.S. citizen, to commit to us before you carry a badge and a gun. And in fact, it's not unusual. I spent 5 minutes on police hiring site, and I found City of Coral Gables requires you to be a citizen to be a cop. Cedar Rapids, Iowa does. The Dallas Airport Police, you have to be a citizen. The Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, right here in Washington, you have to be a citizen. And El Paso County, Colorado, another county in Colorado, requires their deputies to be U.S. citizens. The difference is that the federal law says you can't have that kind of requirement unless your local ordinances or regulations require it. So what happened is the Justice Department had some intern go on the same site I did, look for police departments that required citizenship, and then checked whether they had dotted their I's and the city council had authorized it, and they found one that forgot. And that's what they did. This is an outrage that is the kind of thing you would expect from this Justice Department.
It is the kind of thing we would expect, but it's the kind of thing that the American people have rejected wholeheartedly. And what exactly does it say? What is the message here? Because this is taking the sort of idea of set-asides and quotas to even a more bizarre level.
I mean, essentially what the thinking is here is that U.S. citizenship does not mean anything. That's the point. It's to blur and potentially eliminate the distinction between being a legal immigrant, which you're not breaking the law, but you're not one of us yet. You haven't fully joined our society. The difference between that and someone, an immigrant, who has decided to go through the whole citizenship process, taken the oath. There is a difference, and this administration just doesn't accept that there is a difference between being a citizen and not being a citizen.
Right, of course, and this gets back to the idea that we even saw with some of these WikiLeaks and Hillary Clinton, just no borders, hemispheric, one country, perhaps even broadly speaking, a lot of people believe Barack Obama is someone who believes in ultimately a one-world government, sort of one central planner for the entire planet.
We're a long way from that, but it's the same kind of perspective, that national borders are passé. They're yesterday's news, and anything that weakens national borders is good, whether it's immigration or anything else, and it's that same perspective that leads to this kind of absurd result, as well as many others.
So, Mark, then what would the Justice Department or the Obama administration say to an American citizen who deserves to have a job in one of these police departments, particularly in this case the Sheriff's Department in Denver? What do you say to them, that you can't have this job because you're an American, as absurd as that sounds?
Well, what they're saying is that the Sheriff's Department is not allowed to say that you have to become an American before you're allowed to apply for this job.
But what about an American who may not get the job as a consequence of this policy?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we're going to see that in the future. We may well see that in the future. And the fact is that already, the people who sit, the Justice Department personnel that fined Denver for this, the county of Denver, that they have to be U.S. citizens in order to have their jobs.
Wow, that's sweet.
It's absurd.
Sweet, bitter irony. Mark, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, we've got some very sad news to share with you tonight. The Wayne State University officer who was shot in the line of duty last night has passed away. Colin Rose is the first ever officer at the Detroit school to be killed in the line of duty. Officer Rose was 29.